With Warzone 2 here, I'm going to revisit Warzone vs Fortnite and find out which one is the best battle royale. I've played both games a lot and have made content on both, giving me a great understanding of where the games excel and where they could be better. I'll decide which one is better by having them go head to head in 9 categories worth 1 point each, and whichever one ends up with more points will be declared the best battle royale. Let me know which game you think is going to come out on top and why in the comments. Time for round 1. Weapons is a good place to start, a quintessential part to any battle royale. Fortnite has consistently changed the weapons in its game, but what they've done with Chapter 3 has made their weapons much more unique, where some of them have sights on them, making them first person when you scope in, and those weapons will have recoil on them, while the iron sights weapons that you're still in third person will have bloom. It allows for players to pick what they prefer and helps cater to other battle royale players. With Warzone, they add weapons as well, but they never take any of them out, leading to a wide variety of weapons to choose from. They update their guns by nerfing and buffing them, but what makes Warzone unique is loadouts and the ability to build out the weapons you use, making them more personalized than any other BR. On top of that, Call of Duty is known for having the smoothest gameplay for any first-person shooter. Fortnite weapons are solid, but it can't compete with the smoothness and crispiness of Warzone. Round 1 goes to Warzone. Now let's go to POIs, or points of interest. These are the locations around the map, and I'll be trying to judge them based on their uniqueness and if they give the map a different feel as you go around. Fortnite has always done a good job of this by having the map in sections. What I mean by that is that they have different biomes, almost like Minecraft, as you go around the map. Snowy mountains, deserts, swamps, forests, and the list could go on and on. On top of that, you're going to have countless different building types, making each POI feel different to the rest. You could never mistake tilted towers for rocky reels. With Warzone, we have generally the same thing across the map, which is fine as long as we can make the POIs distinctly different. They have a few ways of doing this. They have port locations like Arsenal and Docks, a volcano at Peak, and then Airfield. This does a great job of making the map have sections similar to Fortnite, but where Warzone comes into problems is with its buildings. They have the same ones across the map. For example, if we look at Village and Lagoon, they have the same exact huts throughout both of them. I will say Caldera has done a slightly better job than Verdansk did to make more unique buildings and POIs, but you can find identical buildings in multiple locations still, and it is less unique than Fortnite's points of interest. 1-1 tie. Let's talk about action. I'm talking from beginning to end game. What is the pace of play? How much of the time are you going to be able to engage in combat with enemies? Obviously, the beginning of the game depends on where you land for both games, so I won't focus on that part. Then at the end of the game, you'll be in a small circle where the action is forced upon you. Once again, I won't be focusing on that part because both games will be similar experiences in terms of action. That means I will be focusing on the mid game. With Fortnite, there are fewer players to begin with, but the map is about half the size of Warzone's, meaning fewer players should have no impact on how much action you see. However, it is a very common occurrence to see almost no players in the middle of the game when you're playing Fortnite, with all the fights coming in either the beginning or the end, making the game feel very slow in the middle. But is Warzone any better? Sure, it has more players, but it also has the bigger map. Warzone has a couple things that help it out. Contracts, which yes, Fortnite added to copy Warzone, but they aren't quite as good. Obviously, bounty contracts help you locate enemies to attack, but you can also purchase UAVs to help you find players, and they'll pop up on your minimap when you call that in. And you also have balloons that allow you to fly off of them and traverse the map much faster than you could ever do in Fortnite. Basically, you can cover ground faster, have UAVs to reveal enemies, and have contracts show you a small area where people are. Warzone has a better pace of play than Fortnite, and it easily wins this section 2-1 Warzone. If you're enjoying this video, please hit the like button, it helps me out a lot, and subscribe if you're cool. Let's talk about skill gap. What are the main areas that separate players in each game? For Fortnite, it's building, and for Warzone, it's movement. I know Fortnite has a no build mode, but building is what makes Fortnite Fortnite, so I'm going to be focusing on the main game mode. We have seen the development of Fortnite's building go from just build yourself a giant base before anyone attacks you, to building a one-block tower, to cranking out 90s, all the way to editing gods. Fortnite plays nothing like it used to because of the skill of players building, and it makes for a serious difference in skill level. With Warzone, you may have thought that the gunplay would be the biggest skill gap, but it isn't due to the fact that most players will just use meta weapons, and they have virtually no recoil on them, making it incredibly easy to hit your shots. There's clearly still a decent skill gap with that, but movement truly is what decides most gunfights. The ability to make people miss shots while being able to hit yours is what creates a great player. There are many simple things like drop shots which aren't even possible in Fortnite, and jumping while moving into fights that are subtle things that turn gunfights into your favor. Joe is a perfect example for why movement is so important in Warzone, but when I ask myself, is it harder to win with bad building in Fortnite or bad movement in Warzone, I come to the answer of bad building, because it is impossible to hit shots with a wall in your way, and you can still be accurate enough to beat someone sliding around. So Fortnite brings it to a draw, 2-2. Next up, Reboot System. Fortnite has updated this many times. At the start of Fortnite, when it was first released, if you were eliminated, there was no way to come back into the game, and luckily they've changed that with Reboot fans. But there was a limited time to pick up your teammate's card before it disappeared. But now luckily they have upped the timer, so it's pretty much impossible to not pick up the card in time. This has helped the pace of play of Fortnite by having essentially more players in the game, by each person having more lives. But what is Warzone system? They have the Gulag, where when you go down, you get a chance to win a fight and get back into the game. But not only this, they have added redeploy tokens that spawn you back into the game immediately. Then on top of this, we're going to have a few more ways to be brought back, with King and supply run contracts and buying back your teammate at the buy station for 3k. There are so many more ways to be revived in Warzone, and that is one of the main reasons it has more action than Fortnite, because there's just way more lives in the game, and this is an easy win for Warzone, going up 3-2. Aesthetics. Fortnite's going to have a cartoony feel, while Warzone goes to a more realistic one, and everyone is going to have a personalized preference between these two styles, but I'm going to take my preference out of this and declare the winner of this round based on which game aesthetics is more important to. Fortnite is going to be very colorful, while Warzone is more muted in its color palette, but the main focus on the aesthetics comes in the form of microtransactions that are all about cosmetics and appearances. Skins, camos, emotes, and more. Fortnite being a third-person game means that skins are way more integral to your personal experience because you can actually see what skin you're wearing while playing. But weapon camos are much more important to Warzone because unlocking camos is classic to Call of Duty, and the first-person aspect puts the weapon front and center on your screen. Then emotes, I just think has to go to Fortnite because they made it such a big part of their game, and I've never seen anyone get hyped for new skins or items in a shop like people do for Fortnite, and it's going to be back to a 3-3 tie. Next up, vehicles. The question is which game relies on their vehicles more? Fortnite has added and changed their vehicles throughout its lifespan, but cars and boats are the most important now. And a major difference from Fortnite to Warzone is that vehicles don't knock enemies with one hit and they have much more health, meaning they are harder to destroy. In essence, Warzone vehicles are more powerful, but more fragile. One C4 and they just go boom. Warzone has typically kept the same vehicles throughout the entire span of the game, but they've added a couple in Caldera that are just the most annoying ones, with planes and bomber planes that can destroy your loadouts. And the addition of balloons has made vehicles less important to the game than they used to be, but they still impact the game far more than Fortnite vehicles do. So I'm gonna have to give Warzone this one with a 4-3 lead. Competitive, and I'm specifically talking about tournaments for playing and watching. Fortnite really created an evolutionary competitive scene by allowing anyone to compete in tournaments even without a professional team. The only thing you needed was to be a certain rank in arenas. This allowed for friends to compete and have fun to see how they stacked up against the best. But the biggest and most epic tournament was the World Cup that was watched across the world with millions of viewers and had $30 million in prize money. That is the second biggest prize pool ever for a gaming tournament, and it truly separates Fortnite from most battle royales. Warzone took a while to start having meaningful tournaments, but they finally have started trying the Fortnite formula where anyone in the community can qualify. The only problem is, the qualifying system has been bad. They had a trios tournament where you didn't qualify as a team, but individually. Yes, for some reason they did that. The good news is Warzone has started upping the prize money and opening it up to the whole community to qualify, but Warzone hasn't done anything close to Fortnite in competitive, and that's going to bring us to a 4-4 tie. Longevity. Which game will have a longer lifespan? Fortnite has been out for 5.5 years, and Warzone for about 3. With Warzone 2.0 here, you would think that's what will make Fortnite win, but in truth, that isn't the reason. Warzone has an advantage with having 3 playable maps with 2 different types of games with classic battle royale and resurgence that gives a feel of a multiplayer and Warzone hybrid, while Fortnite only has the 1 map and different playable game modes on it, which Warzone will also have. The real question is, will Warzone continue to be updated with a new game out to keep up with Fortnite? I can't exactly answer that, only speculate. Instead, I'm actually going to focus on the fact that Warzone has has no private matches that you can play with just friends, because you need at minimum 24 players to launch a private match. Where Fortnite has creative mode that allows you to build your own maps and play on other people's created maps, with an endless amount of different modes like death runs, zone wars, escape rooms, and much more. This gives Fortnite a whole dimension that Warzone 1 will never have, and gives the game so much more replayability. For that reason, Fortnite takes this round, ending the matchup with a 5-4 win. I personally enjoy Warzone more than Fortnite now, but I tried to be as objective as possible in this video, and Fortnite ends as being the slightly better game overall. Do you agree or disagree? Let me know in the comments why and give constructive points. I'll catch you guys in Warzone 2.0. Peace.